Aquarius, welcome back. All right, here we go. This is going to be today's topic video. It is for the 22nd of September, and we have metamorphosis. Boy, we're starting fast on that, aren't we? Massive change, massive transformation. We have a character going from a flamingo to maybe a butterfly. You notice the flamingo is getting butterfly wings. Somebody could be getting their hair done, maybe I'm picturing like 1970s, like Farrah Fawcett hairdo style, or somebody is changing something maybe even more pronounced about themselves, hair color, hairstyle. Those are easy changes and they make a big difference, but maybe somebody is, doing something else. They're getting whatever veneers on their teeth, or they're, going through a, cosmetic surgery, or, something along those lines. It could be something much larger. I usually look at metamorphosis as something on the inside that is transforming, though. A character is going through a massive shift, a massive change, and it's by choice. And there's freedom. There's a sense of freedom that comes with this. Certainly because we have the butterfly, and that really represents change. I gotta say, they could be changing their opinion about something, changing their mindset about what they believe in, even. Let's go with this deck. All right, so tell me about this. Seven of Cups. All of a sudden, we have a character who's like, you know what? I have a lot more options than I ever thought I did. So someone's mind is open to all of the potentials, all of the possibilities. We got the Devil. Hold on. Capricorn energy coming in here. Justice in the reverse. Okay. We have a character that is firmly letting go of someone who they now see as toxic. We have someone who is finally ready to say, you know what? I'm thinking about my wish fulfillment. And do I really think that a toxic ex has any role in my image of my wish fulfillment? It doesn't. So you know what? Doesn't matter what happened with them. What they did is they worked themselves right out the door. They no longer are my fantasy. They're not my fantasy person. They're not the person that I would choose. I am finally free of thinking about, what if they came back in to try to address things and make things right? No, I'm all about my wish fulfillment now. And when I really think about it, the qualities of the person that would be my wish fulfillment would not be someone that I've already tangled with, that already showed me every toxic attachment they had. If they were attached to somebody else because of money, doesn't matter. They can stay there. They didn't do me wrong. They just made it so that I didn't have to deal with their toxicity. Right? If they stayed stuck with somebody else because they've got problems, hey, I'm glad that it wasn't the problems I had to deal with. That's awesome. I'm done with that. I'm picturing my wish fulfillment. And honestly, my wish fulfillment has changed. I no longer wish that someone would come in and make things right with me if they've already shown me how toxic they are. That's not what I need. I need totally a completely different love story. Even if we look at the colors here, we've got all these softer, light creams and pinks, and we're up in the sky, and we have all of this dreamy, beautiful, lighthearted energy versus kind of intense color tones, deep reds, dark blues. Everything is heavy on these two cards. We could have a Libra or a Capricorn that possibly a feminine is no longer interested in, and she's just kind of realizing that on the 22nd. Like, I want totally different from myself, as it turns out. Nine of Swords, yeah. As she releases this is not her having the stress. I feel like either they're picking up on the fact that something's changing. Oh, wow. Yeah, she's gone into full-blown Empress mode. Why are they stressing out? How do they even realize she's over them? Five of Pentacles sideways. They're feeling either an energetic, like cord cutting that she's doing, like a loss of her vibe, a loss of her energetic flow. They can't access it anymore. They can't tap into it. That could be the way I would look at that. We've got the 10 of Pentacles and we've got the 7 of Pentacles sideways. I will say this. I believe for a while, maybe quite a while, the energetic doorway was still open. Should they have come back, she might have, dealt with them. If they had come back in different or kinder or healthier, she might have gone ahead and dealt with them. But, and maybe that was the plan for a long time. And now her plan has changed. Something has happened where I will say her wish fulfillment is to have lots of opportunities in her life, to be the empress of her empire, or his. It doesn't matter. This empress could be a masculine. The character I'm calling she could be a he as well. I only talk about energy, not genders, but for the sake of the story, I'll reference him as, she right now. She's realized that part of her 10 of Pentacles is to actually create the abundant life that she'd like to have. Now, I think she's been building it all by herself, is what she's come to realize, which is ironic because she's got a swimming pool full of money. She's got kind of like, I'm going to say she's living her best life, is what she's realizing. It's all within her grasp anyway. She hasn't already gotten there. But what's interesting is that the thing that they were attached to was piles of money and maybe being stuck with an ex because it was all about the finances. So even if they wanted to be with her, but they were still trapped in some of their connection because they couldn't relinquish money. The irony of all this is that they held on to basically rhinestones instead of reaching for the diamond. Now, again, I'm still going to say, this is not to say, oh, well, they should have gone with her. She's going to be more successful and have more money. Obviously, that is not who she would have wanted to get stuck with. And maybe that's what the big message is in all of this. If all they wanted was like they couldn't release their attachment to finances because they always worried about not having enough, so that kept them stuck somewhere instead of coming toward her. I think part of her metamorphosis is, she may be recognizing this a little bit on her own and being like, oh my God, what's so crazy? I'm actually creating like an empire. Maybe she's become a successful business owner, or maybe she just simply is living a really high quality life. She's like, I'm living the good life. It doesn't mean that she's got swimming pools of cash, although that metamorphosis said she could be coming into a lot of money. Maybe she inherits something huge. Maybe circumstances in life can change. Maybe she has a rags to riches storyline. All we can see is that the change that is happening, at least in her perception, is, what I realize? I'm living a life where I'm not big stressed out. I'm actually loving my life. I love where I live. Maybe it's a humble space. Maybe these are apartment complexes. And she's like, but I have the most beautiful apartment complex that I live in. They take care of the pool and I have access to it. I go out there and I do my yoga in the morning. It's affordable. It's beautiful. There's a garden to walk through. I don't even have to do the gardening of it. I love my life. I'm having a much better quality life because I'm not desperately attached to somebody else who's my karmic or somebody who's toxic. I'm not desperate to, I don't know, like, when will it ever be enough? When if you're attached so much to this devil energy, it means there will never be satisfaction. And she's realizing it's ironic because they're thinking that they'll never have enough to be satisfied, or they won't be satisfied until they get a certain dollar amount and they have to cling to that X. But I'm actually really content in my life and I actually have all the abundance and I have the happiness. That's an amazing perspective. She's able to realize everything that they're seeking is what I actually have already attained. Wow, I can see why they're not my match, because they haven't reached a place of like either comprehension or they're chasing the wrong thing that will always elude them. And although sure, they could have been with me and had it all with me, you know what? They would have maybe chosen me for the wrong reason. And so it's better that they're not with me. It almost feels like she's starting to realize, because we have too much lust for money in this storyline, money, need more money. Even here with the 7 of coins. Okay, what can I invest in? What can I plant? I wonder if they do like risky investments, always trying to get ahead. If they stay somebody's puppet, because maybe they chase down something. They want to appease people that they think have more money. It just feels like everything is desperation on their side. And what's interesting is she doesn't have any desperation, and yet the money's flowing for her. It really is showing for her. She's realizing the difference in like either relationships with abundance and how that kind of alters life. I think she's in a really good place, like a really, really good place. I don't see them in such a good place. I see them in a pretty troubled circumstances. We have a Page of Cups in the reverse and the Queen of Swords. She has suddenly said, I don't need anybody to give me an apology. I don't need them to show up. I don't need any of that. I don't need any more answers. I don't have any more questions about all this. I have my clarity, and it's okay. I'm not even hurt by this. I'm actually so relieved that I know where I stand and the way my life is going. I feel very much in control of my life and my potentials and my possibilities and what makes me happy. I'm in a great place. I can release the toxic ex. If once upon a time I felt like you did me dirty, you did me wrong, how could you hurt me so? She doesn't feel that way anymore. That is an amazing release to have on the 22nd. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so what comes next for her then? Well, footloose, fancy free, ready to mingle because she's single in her mind, in her head, in her heart, ready to date, ready to be in some kind of, I don't know, with this Ace of Wands is it's passion. She's got new ideas. She's got new invigoration in her life. I do believe for a long time, maybe she had eyes only for that ex. Maybe she was more focused for a long time on what was wrong. And now she doesn't care what was wrong in the situation with them. She's really able to look at somebody new. She's excited to meet somebody new. I don't know, I just feel like for the first time ever, she doesn't think of the ex. I'm wondering if she used to, like, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, she would think of them. And I believe she will not be thinking of the ex any longer. She's interested in smiling at somebody new and seeing, who else is out there, if she's ready to date, if she's feeling more creative, if she's feeling more just like, obviously it's a power pose, right? She's loving life. And it's kind of like, come one, come all, bring in opportunities. Let me meet new friends. Let me meet new potential romances. Let me go ahead and just have new experiences. I feel so ready for the new. I feel so reborn. I feel so refreshed. This is an amazing release of a situation from the past. And it's amazing because the only thing that it required for her to fully let this go was to actually acknowledge or I'll say compare her relationship with abundance versus somebody else's. This is not to vilify them and say, let me figure out what's wrong with them, what makes them evil and bad. No, it's just like, oh, wait a second. You know what? We're not really on par with each other. We don't really think about something as important as, abundance and how that impacts, our fear factors and what we're hungry for and what we want. I think she just saw how they're actually not compatible. And now there's no hurt, there's no pain involved in this dissolving of that idea of that ex ever coming back. I think she's over it. All right, I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.